Hi, my name's Lori Taylor, and I killed my beloved Great Dane, Truman. Not on purpose. I just didn't know what I didn't know. Trust me, ignorance is not bliss when it comes to your dog's health. I learned that lesson the hard way. Watching a beautiful animal, one you love more than anything, while you sit next to him knowing he is going to die and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, once you've been to a hell like that, I promise you, you never want to go back ever. And that's why I created this free presentation for you, in the hopes your dog won't have to suffer unnecessarily like my Trumy did. It truly comforts me to believe his death was not in vain. In fact, I like to believe his legacy lives on through every dog that's saved with this message today, where I'm going to expose the terrifying truth that's killing millions of dogs just like Truman every year. I'm going to reveal how your dog is potentially slowly being poisoned right now. And in a minute, I'll share with you the shocking reason why your dog is 4 times more likely to die of breast cancer than you, 8 times more likely to die of bone cancer than you, and get this, 35 times more likely to die of skin cancer than you, even with fur. Considering 30 years ago, dogs were not dying in droves from cancer, liver, and kidney disease, this is a relatively new phenomenon, one that sadly is almost expected today. And now many scientists, vets, and researchers are starting to think, and I absolutely agree, the problem could be as simple as what you are putting in your dog's bowl. Now, if you're like me, you might be sitting back thinking, that's not me. She's not talking to me, because you might be paying top dollar for your dog's food right now. Yet some of the chemicals used to preserve even premium pet foods are proven cancer-causing agents. Mouth cancer is actually the 4th leading cause of cancer deaths in dogs. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. But first, I want to talk about me and Truman, because back then I really thought I was feeding Truman a great branded dog food. And trust me, I had the bills to prove it. Yet I realize now I had no idea, absolutely no clue what he was really eating. And that's what the pet industry, fat cats and big dogs are banking on, literally banking on. For you to not look too hard and for you to not ask too many questions. Like right now, do you know what every ingredient is and what it does for, or worse, to your dog? If you don't, that's okay. You're not alone. In fact, according to a recent web survey, 4 out of 5 people could not correctly identify harmful ingredients in their dog's food. And if you were able to grab your dog's label right now, I bet it would look something like this. Let's say that you are using what's called a premium food. Please write down the word premium right now with a question mark. We're going to come back to that, but it's a very important point I want to make to you today. Looking at this ingredient, this very popular brand, I'm not going to call them out, but it's a very popular brand. They call themselves premium, and yet even today, where everyone knows that grains and wheats and things like that aren't good for the dogs, they are still able to sell millions and millions of dollars of dog food that's number one's ingredients is ground yellow corn, followed by chicken byproduct meal, which you'll hear later why that's not good, and then corn gluten meal. I mean, I think you can imagine if it's not good for you, it's not good for them. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's just not a lot of great stuff in here. They even list sugar as an ingredient, and sugar is terrible for dogs. Dogs absolutely cannot and will not burn sugar very well. It breaks their body down very quickly. If you did nothing else, please protect your dog from sugar. Now, we can move on to Premium Plus grain-free brands, which they've moved up a little bit. They're saying, hey, no grains in here. And that's great and fine. You see that on TV, and that's a step in the right direction. But if you looked at this label, you might ask a question of, okay, fine, it's grain-free, but what the heck did you put in there to make this a better formula? Dried potatoes, peas, chicken fat, sweet potatoes, chicken flavor, turkey, yeast culture. I mean, it goes on and on. It even has alfalfa meal in here, which is a horrible thing. And while it's still incredibly hard for me to admit it right now, even right now, I was one of the 4 people too. We're talking about 4 out of 5 people didn't know how to read their ingredients on their back of their label. I was one of those people. I guess I was a little too trusting, and honestly, I believe this was the fatal mistake for my Truman. Even now, I still agonize over what I could have done differently, how ignorant I feel now that I didn't know what was right there in front of my eyes. And that's what drives me. How could I have saved him? What could I have done different? I mean, if you've ever lost a pet to cancer, I know you understand what I'm talking about. The guilt, the sadness, the pain, it's astronomical. It is so heavy on your heart. And you're always wondering why. Why did that happen? He was so young. He was so healthy. And it just pops up one day and boom, they're gone. So I just had to know what was causing these dogs to die and what, if anything, could be done to stop it. So I began researching and reading everything I could find about cancer in dogs. I scoured veterinary medicine journals. I read countless books on canine health and nutrition. I interviewed dozens of leading vets, and it was during one of those interviews that the breakthrough occurred. When I asked Dr. Jan Hale, a holistic veterinarian from Colorado, why dogs were getting sick, he simply said this: it's the food. The food people feed their dogs is killing them. I was stunned. What was he talking about? Dr. Hale told me I'd find all the answers I was looking for if I began to study how 98% of all dog food was really made. So I did just that. And what I discovered during my thousands of hours of research, I talked to everyone. I poured through stacks of FDA guidelines, went through hundreds of pet food manufacturing processes, just trying to understand what the different options were for making a really great dog food. And it was horrifying. I've never been so depressed in my whole life. At first, I was shocked and disgusted by what I uncovered. I really was. And then I began to get angry, ears burning angry. It was right then that I vowed I would do whatever it took to expose this corruption and greed within the big dog food industry conglomerates. It still took me investing thousands of dollars on research and development to really understand and verify what I wish I had understood then. Your choice really is your dog's voice. You must choose as if their life depends on it, because it absolutely does. That's why I'm going to reveal to you right now the top 3 dirty secrets I discovered that the top insiders in the pet industry never want you to know. And while you may think you've heard it all before, I guarantee you haven't heard what's coming next. I guarantee it. Now I must warn you, this presentation today, it's not for everybody, but I am coming from a good place, and I hope that you hear me today, because it's not going to be pretty. But I'm telling you, these are going to be the best minutes that you invest into your dog's life if you just stay with me. You can choose to listen very closely for the next few minutes while I reveal what some people in the pet industry definitely do not want you to know. How to read your dog's food ingredients label and understand what it all really means. You see, very few people know, much less understand, just what these ingredients are that are listed on the back of that bag. Not to mention what it really looks like before being transformed magically into your dog's food. And that's why I want to bring to your attention today what experts have known for years. What you're feeding your dog does not look like this, ever. It really, at best, looks like this. Looks like corn, you see some more corn, you have dye coloring, chicken byproduct, corn gluten meal. It's a bunch of powders, there's some additives, and boom, ta-da, they add some artificial coloring and some flavoring and basically try to trick your dog into eating something that he definitely knows is not food. And that's why I call this the fastest and least expensive process of making food for dogs. It's what it actually looks like. And I use the term food loosely, and you're about to see why. It's this type of crap that helps the wallets of the big dogs monopolizing the industry get even fatter right along with your dogs. And there's no one standing guard to uphold a standard we can all live with, which is what I think bothered me the most. While there is an organization who is supposed to protect your dog's nutrition, it's actually being manipulated by some pretty sophisticated marketers. I mean, it's not hard to do when you consider some of the big boys have $50 million ad budgets. And to understand how all this could happen, you need to know how the dog food biz first got started. You see, until the late 50s, the pet food industry simply did not exist. Not as you know it today, anyway. Back then, most dogs lived on leftovers or butcher's excess, until a major pet food company discovered a method for taking the hot liquid soup of meat, fat, and grain scraps and injecting them through another heat process, popping the fluid into light, dry food of any shape. They called it Kibble, and it did not become widely available until the 1960s. That's when companies producing grain-inclusive human foods finally figured out something very important, especially to their shareholders. Kibble was a great way to make a profit off waste products not fit for human consumption. Basically, if the humans couldn't eat it, we'll package it up, make it look pretty, put a spin on it, and you can feed it to your dog. Who cares? He's just a dog, right? Not exactly how I see it. They have absolutely no concern for the actual nutritional value for your dog. That is not really lined up with profits. Now, if you're like I used to be, you probably trust your dog's food is carefully regulated. After all, most of it's in a grocery store, right? Well, it's not regulated, not like you think. Established in the early 1900s to govern cattle feed or poultry feed back then, the Association of American Feed Control Officials, we call AAFCO, was designed to protect the feed animals that we were eating. Note, it's feed control, not food control. And that same body is still governing your dog's food now. Yet they don't even have any real power. They even state this as a fact on their website. According to their website, each state tries to follow their guidelines. It's like an honor system because the AAFCO has no statutory authority to actually regulate pet products. And even if they did, the rules being followed right now are the same ones created in the early 1900s. Okay, again, this was for livestock, for cows, for chickens. They were meant to guide the standards of livestock feed only. And these rules the states are trying to follow were designed for the best way to rapidly fatten up the animal, which is pretty much the opposite of what you want for your dog's life. And if you're like me, you're not just trying to keep your dog alive. You want your dog to thrive. Yet, since many pet food manufacturers will go to any lengths to fill their food with the cheapest source of protein that they can find, again, keeping stockholders happy, well, here's the very worst part about that. For example, many brands use photos implying they're using food-grade ingredients on the bag, while actually using feed-grade ingredients inside the bag or can. Even though there's an AAFCO guideline stating they cannot do this. They say a vignette, graphic, or pictorial representation on a pet food or specialty pet food label shall not misrepresent the contents of the package. Yet many still do, because they know you don't know the rules. And don't worry, you're not alone in this. Very few people do. Because let's face it, most people don't even know what to even look for. Not like you do with people food anyway. For example, this bag's a beautiful bag. It's got a steak, it's got vegetables, it says the American Grill, all these great things. But you know what else it also says? It says grilled USA beef steak flavor. The key word to look for is the word flavor. Because if they'd said what the photo implies, grilled USA beef steak, then grilled steak would have to be in the bag. It's not in the bag because it says flavor. And when you look a little closer, it's right there for savvy dog lovers like you to see. The only meat ingredient in this dog food is listed as beef and bone meal. And this is what that looks like. Ironically, when you go and look at the back of the package, It's actually listed as the third ingredient, putting yellow corn and soybean meal above it, meaning there is a larger percentage of those two ingredients over the beef and bone meal. Because the top 5 ingredients on the back of any label are weighted in terms of how much of it is in the bag, and the most amount goes first. Now, in this bag, if you see here, it's a 55-pound bag of chicken food, and look at the price here. 55 pounds, $23.39. That's 42.5 cents a pound. I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to know that's not chicken, right? I mean, for those of you who don't know, while some chickens can cost as much as $8.99 a pound, you can get the generic store brand chicken that typically costs about $1.50 a pound for people. So it's pretty hard to envision what that 42-cent a pound piece of chicken looks like. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't want to know. So you wonder to yourself, how is it even possible? How are they able to do that? And that's because there's a loophole. This is all about loopholes. Many times it's because the actual meat content is only 3%. We call this the 3% rule. According to FDA and AAFCO labeling guidelines, if the name of the food includes the phrase with ingredient, like with beef, with lamb, with chicken, that named ingredient must not be less than 3% of the total weight. So in other words, a dog manufacturer could have a label that says something super sexy like Aunt Susie's Wholesome Stew with Lamb. And as long as the lamb is 3% of the ingredients by weight, they are following the rules. Really? 3%. Do you don't find that a tad bit deceptive? And probably a lot bit disappointing for your dog? And let me tell you why that's pretty scary. This is loophole number 2. Have you ever heard of 4D animals? If not, you're in for a treat. It stands for dead, dying, diseased, and or disabled. And there is no law, no regulation, no guideline, nothing saying these 4D animals cannot be added to your dog's food. Even on bags labeled premium or gourmet, even though past AAFCO president Hirsch Pendle admits it does happen. Just check out what he has to say right here in this short 30-second video.
These are Holsteins here. Hirsch Pendle is the current president of the Association of Feed Control Officials, a group made up of North American agriculture and animal feed specialists. AAFCO writes ingredient definitions and suggests nutritional guidelines for pet food makers.
Pet food industry.
Pendle says he's not aware of any written law or regulation at any level, specifically prohibiting the use of rendered products which contain dead cats and dogs.
Aesthetically, it may not be acceptable, but nutritionally, it's still protein.
Can we tell what's in pet food just by looking at the label?
There's no way to really tell that, because if the ingredient says meat and bone meal, you don't know if that's cattle or sheep or horse or fluffy.
And the FDA certainly does not deny it. They actually have guidelines allowing it. Take this one, 675.400, rendered animal feed ingredients. The rendering industry utilizes packing house offal, meat processing waste, restaurant waste, and animal tissues from other sources, including animals that have died otherwise than by slaughter. Roadkill, euthanasia. According to Natural News, they say these meats are usually condemned in whole or in part for human consumption, and they are generally sent for rendering along with other byproduct parts and items that are unwanted or unsuitable for human use, such as out-of-date supermarket meats, including their plastic wrappers, cut-away cancerous tissue, and fetal tissue, which is very high in hormones. They even have specific guidelines around this, okay, in 675.100. FDA does not object to the diversion to animal feed of human food with rodent, roach, or bird excreta. Okay, that's bird poop. Really? Go on. It gets worse. It really does. It goes worse to talk about that, how these situations may include pesticide contamination, industry chemicals. We have one here, contamination by filth. They actually use the word filth. Drug residues. This is unbelievable to me right now, right? And, speaking of that, they had a lot of people out there for a while that kind of went on a rampage and were just convinced that there were rendered dogs and all kinds of food. And the FDA finally went to check this out to kind of prove everyone wrong, that no, that's just the alarmists, etc. And guess what? They did a big study, and on 22 out of the 25 foods they tested, They actually found traces of the euthanasia drug in there. They found it. And if you're like me, a real dog lover, at this point you're probably thinking, regardless if this is in my dog's food or not, the fact that there are specific guidelines allowing it to happen, allowing diseased animals or pesticide-laden foods to be approved dog food ingredients, it's absolutely disgusting and 100% unacceptable. Sadly, it gets worse. Loophole number 3. Commercially made food labeled premium gourmet and all natural can be just as toxic as the regular brands of dog food. The bottom line, they're saying they can legally contain the exact same ingredients as cheaper brands of dog food and charge you more or the same price. In fact, the FDA makes it abundantly clear anybody can label their food however they want. It's like a free-for-all. Clearly stating, products labeled as premium or gourmet are not required to contain any different or higher quality ingredients, nor are they held up to any higher nutritional standards than are any other complete balanced products. What's being used and included in these types of products is not what you would expect when reading words like premium. That's part of the problem. For example, one of the most powerful and toxic preservatives in your dog's food is called Ethoxyquin. This deadly preservative is what allows pet stores to keep your dog food on the shelf for up to 2 years before having to sell it to you. It's what makes it convenient and again profitable for pet companies to sell dog food. It can be disastrous for your dog's health. It's been linked to cancers, severe allergies, even a full immune system collapse. And while no, you won't find it listed on your dog's food label, sadly, that doesn't mean it's not in there. Because the way the rules are written, it was added before they received the rest of the filth. Remember the word filth that the FDA is okay with, they use to create your dog's food. It's just one reason Dr. Pleschner, a world-famous veterinarian, says long-term effects of commercial diet is that dogs become, get this, biochemical cripples with no resistance to disease. And I think that's why they're getting cancer, because they cannot fight it off. Their immune systems are significantly weakened by the food we're feeding them. And I just know, after seeing all this proof, no savvy dog lover could keep feeding their dog like this. And that's why I'm excited to share some pretty great news with you today. There are healthier options, one I'm going to reveal right now to you. Because from a biological point of view, scientists have proven your dog's digestive system is almost identical to that of a wild animal. It contains special enzymes and good bacteria which breaks down raw meat. Now, I'm not suggesting you need to go out and teach your dog to hunt or deal with the mess and trouble of fixing a raw meat dinner with blood and bones and organs and all that for your dog. That actually requires a lot of know-how and determination. And if you're like me, again, I have 5 kids, you're looking for a more convenient and correct solution. It's just not that easy to get the right mix of nutrients when you do it yourself. Yet, your dog is really counting on you to get this right. And I can help you do that right now. After discovering just how poorly commercial dog food really was made, I assembled a world-class team of scientists and pioneers in the field of raw dog food to create what thousands of people in all 50 states already consider to be truly the best food on the planet for your dog. It's called TruDog, and it's endorsed by vets like Dr. Jan Hale, a pioneer in pet health for over 33 years. Dr. Hale says this about TruDog. TruDog provides a natural source of essential vitamins, minerals, fats, and amino acids that are so important in developing and maintaining a healthy body where all the systems work in balance with each other. I'm proud to say we also quickly received the coveted 5-star rating from the Dog Food Advisor. And this is because TruDog is a freeze-dried raw meat dog food that contains 0 grains, 0 fillers, 0 added preservatives, 0 artificial anything. All you really need to do is give them TruDog, a freeze-dried raw dog food packed with premium protein. TruDog is a perfectly put together recipe of vital organs and raw muscle meat. complete with both the bone marrow and the blood. I know it sounds really gross to me, but those are the things your dog needs to thrive, along with the vital organs. That's so important, which is hard for us to understand as Americans because we do eat primarily muscle meat. But that's not what your dog needs. Your dog needs the organs. That's why the wolves in the wild, well, if you want to know who the top wolf is, he's the one with the most heart, right? Not to be gross, but after a kill, it's the dog eating the heart that is the top of the food chain. Because if your dog's food does not include this vital organ mix, plus all the right essential fats and oils, those are very important as well, to me, well, it's not really dog food. Unless your dog gets this mix of proteins, minerals, and fats, your dog's system has to work overtime to even function properly. Now, the good news is the benefits of a raw diet for your dog are real, and most of them are very easy to see. High in zinc, it supports immune system health, so your dog can easily fight off infections, viruses, and other ailments. Plus, it's also naturally high in iron to help carry oxygen through the bloodstream to all the cells in your dog's body, helping him to resist diseases like cancer, injuries, and other symptoms that sometimes come from old age. TruDog gives your dog what nature intended and what your dog would choose by instinct if given the choice. Most importantly, especially for those of you with dogs weighing 15 pounds or under, or you have a dog with a very small mouth, to my knowledge, we are the only mini-nibblet sized freeze-dried raw dog food on the planet. All the other brands who make freeze-dried raw dog food do so in the form of large nuggets or even hard-to-chew larger patties. Like, I thought my Great Dane would love those large patties. He does not love those large patties. He likes our little kiblets. That's what we call them, our little niblets. And they look like kibble, but they're not. They're actually, and I'll show you that here in a minute, but they don't crumble. They're very red, and even if when you add water to it to add some moisture back into the food, it doesn't even get soft. And the dog licks the bowl clean. Drinks all the water that you put in there. It's pretty cool, actually. Our mini nibs are safe for and loved by any size dog. All of our meats, poultry, and game are sourced daily and hand-selected through local Wisconsin farms. Like, literally, we want this one, we want this one, we want that one, ensuring that you get the best USDA-certified protein out there. The cattle are grass-fed and free-ranging, raised both antibiotic and steroid-free with no added hormones. We use a proprietary process to protect our protein so you know it's fresh. After being harvested, it's then flash frozen in a USDA certified plant where we lock in the goodness of the all-natural nutrients. This proprietary process gets your meat in the bag in 72 hours or less. No one else can say this. From the time of harvest. And I'm telling you, no one else out there can guarantee that level of freshness because of how we have our facility structured and the proximity of our packing facility with our harvesting facility. In addition, every bag of TruDog is packaged for the ultimate protection of the protein. So you get 100% fresh, perfectly kept food in every single bag. It does not need to be refrigerated. There's no special care required other than keeping it in a room temperature is what I recommend. And it can last up to 18 months with this special proprietary way that we actually package it by sucking all the oxygen out. Plus, we do not use vegetables as fillers like 98% of the other freeze-dried dog foods on the market. So just listen to a few things our raving fans had to say about TruDog. Before I started using Feed Me, my Doxy was itching and scratching constantly. She was eating another brand, and I believe it was all the fillers and grains she was probably allergic to. This is the best dog food, and she loves it. I've bought several bags of this freeze-dried dog food and use it as a topper on my finicky eater's bowl. She now gobbles up all of her food. Of course she eats TruDog kibbles first. You know, we get a lot of that because there are people that have really big dogs or people that have multiple dogs, and you're on a budget, and hey, this is not the cheapest thing to do. It's the best thing to do. It's not the cheapest thing to do. So in that vein, you might consider just mixing it in with your dog's food. It's better than your dog not getting it at all. Do the best you can, like many of our customers do. Rico, our terrier mix, loves the food. When he sees me with the bag, he gets so excited and dances around on his hind legs waiting for it, so he highly recommends it. Some of the benefits of feeding your dog a raw food diet may include the following: a dramatic decrease in shedding, better smelling breath, and raw food is also very easy on their body, which can help many food allergies seem to disappear. Plus, raw diets can help to reduce stool volume by up to 50% because their digestive system can work better. That means there's less for you to clean up on walks. Best of all, it's easy to give your dog the raw power of TruDog right now. All you have to do to receive the fastest service at the guaranteed best price is click on the button below, enter your information on our 256-bit secure order page. We use the same online security system as trusted companies like Amazon.com, so you can be confident your order information is 100% safe and secure. Go ahead, try it for yourself today. Just click on the button below and get your bag of TruDog right now. It's backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee. So that means if for any reason your dog's not happy with the food, you don't like it, you're not satisfied, give us a call and we'll give you a full refund. We're able to give you this great offer on a top quality food like TruDog because we're a small woman-owned business. And because of that, we don't have big multi-million-dollar ad budgets to blow. Yet, we do have some marketing dollars and we get to spend them how we see fit. We don't have a bunch of shareholders dictating much to us. So, we decided to use our dollars in what we think is a much smarter way. Instead of wasting our money on fancy TV ads, we decided to just give awesome discounts and even the occasional crazy promotional offer, hint like the one you're getting today. Because think about it, where else can you save up to 40% off a top shelf bag of awesome freeze-dried raw dog food, all backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee? I stand by my products 150%. In return, all we ask is that you help us spread the word, and we will even reward you to do that too, in addition to your awesome discount, so click the button below. Now here's the deal. I think by now you figured out comparing our freeze-dried raw beef to a commercially cooked kibble, well, that's sort of comparing drive-through french fries to a 5-star fancy steak, right? And you know, as well as I do, you pretty much get what you pay for. That's why we're going to give you the best possible deal we can today, because we want you to feed your dog the best way you can. Just click the button below and grab yours now. And remember, it's risk-free, backed by our 60-day money-back guarantee. And know this, when you're part of the TruDog family, you get one more super important thing. Because we want to get our product out in the paws of as many dogs as possible, we are providing these free presentations in the hopes you will share them with other dog lovers. And when you do, we are going to reward you big. Because we know we can't beat out big brand budgets without your help. That's why we reward happy friends and customers like you who are willing to spread the word to help us help more dogs. Just click on the button below to get your bag and we'll send your personal friends and family link directly to you. We will actually give you $10 for every single friend you refer to us. That's right, send us 5 new customers and you may never have to pay for dog food again. Remember, TruDog can get your dog on the path to living the longest and best possible life when you know that your choice is their voice. Love your dog's life. And remember, any food you choose to give your dog should be higher in meat-based protein, higher in natural fats and oils, low or free of carbohydrates, free of animal or vegetable byproducts, free of artificial coloring or preservatives, complete in all essential vitamins and minerals, and as Krista from Missouri, another happy TruDog customer, says about her 2 Maltese, it's cheaper than what I'll pay later if I don't take care of them the right way today. So go ahead, save on TruDog today when you click on the button below now.